Let's see if Ben is here. I had to change a couple things very quick, but we are pretty much good to go. I'm just gonna call him. See if you can see this old man. If you guys think I'm an old man, this is the OG old man. It's my man. There he is. Oh my god, he's so old. How are we
That's
doing?
uncalled for.
Oh my
We're
god.
doing great.
Nice
You
camera
refuse-
as well, Ben.
Thank you. Are you throwing shade? Is my camera shit?
A little bit. You were a little bit blurry, but it's starting to look better now.
I'm sorry. If you called me 2 minutes ago, you would have seen the baby, but he's been stolen from me.
Ah, that's all right, mate. How are we feeling? You ready to throw down?
You know, yesterday I was feeling very confident, and then I played a little warm-up game just a second ago, and I felt totally lost. And so I don't know how to feel. Surely I'm going to take a couple games.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're playing against HolySquid. Obviously, you're not going to be familiar with him, but he's a community member. He has played once in the Big Brain Bouts. I linked you the VOD. He's a very nice guy. He's very enthusiastic. When he asked, who am I playing? I said, MrBitter. He said, who is that?
Classic. I mean, that's fair. I've been away from Starcraft for many years at this point.
Yeah. All right, Ben. Obviously, you're very, very, very involved right now with MrBitter. You are the community manager. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a good word for it for now. I got involved. Dude, do you want me to tell like the long story?
Well, you can tell the long story or the short story. Why don't you stop with the day? Why don't you start with the days where you were casting some NESL with Roddy? Where did it all go wrong?
Oh man, it all went wrong when we trusted Russell Pfister.
He stopped by the Twitch chat a couple times. That was very awkward, but
Russell. Yeah. No, I mean Russ honestly was almost ahead of the curve. Yeah, his quote to me when it all blew up was "Pioneers get slaughtered and settlers thrive." So anyway, if NASL had hung on, I think for one more year, there's a good chance that he would have sold it for some bucks, like MLG or ESL or what have you. But it just didn't work out. And then, post NASL, big, long, fun journey. Spent some years at Red Bull. You'll remember those. Red Bull Battlegrounds were hype. Went to New York, helped launch the Overwatch League team. Spent a couple of years trying to make a video game. That did not go well. And when I shut down the startup, I got a phone call like that day saying, hey, do you want to come to North Carolina and work on a video game project with MrBeast? And I was like, yeah, that sounds sick. So I go to North Carolina and I spend about a year with MrBeast. And it was during this time that I discovered MrBitter. And so the Beast project was like, Jimmy wants to get into video games. He should have a game or do something in games. And at first he wanted to make a game, and he's like, we just need to, hire a lot of good people and throw a lot of money at it, and we have it done in like 12 months. And we're like, Jimmy, it doesn't really work that way. It takes more than 12 months to make a game. At least a good game. We could make a shit game in 12 months, But what we think you should do is you should become a video game publisher. You should just partner with great teams and hook them up. And he's like, okay, I'm into that idea. And so I went around the world and I met with a whole bunch of great teams. And I found the MrBitter team during this time. And I was very impressed with those guys. And I put together a cool little presentation and presented it to Jimmy. And he's like, this looks great. This game's awesome. But I want to focus on YouTube and chocolate. So we're just going to shut this whole project down. And I was like, well, that's fine. That's kind of how I expected it all to go. But I'd had several really good conversations with the developer and introduced him to a few other folks. And about a year later, they reached out to me and said, hey, man, we're trying to pour some gas on this game. Can you come in and help us build out the program? And so, yeah, community manager is like a fair title today because most of the work that I'm doing is just engaging with the community members and setting up cool things and getting people like Roddy to stream and paying him not enough money and taking advantage of my friends.
Hey, people think that I get paid every day when I stream MrBitter, by the way. They come in, they're like, is this hashtag ad? Can you give some clarity here, man? What is the connection here? Because people don't believe it. They don't think that I like it because I'm known as the anti-gamer, I've only played one game.
We paid Roddy like $250 or something shitty to stream some MrBitter. And he's like, I'll do it for you, Ben. And I'm like, thanks, Kev. Because we don't have big budgets. It's a very small indie team, and we're just kind of... There's so much to say about it. Small indie team. It's really had a great success by indie game standards, we've there's 500,000 people have played the game. But I think the game is really great. I think it's special. I think it's remarkable. I think it's kind of the best strategy game made in the last several years. And I believe that it could be, 1 million player, 2 million player kind of a game, sort of like Starcraft 2 multiplayer has been. And I think Starcraft fans should love Mechabellum, and I've seen a lot of your audiences liked it. But yeah, we're just trying to grow the game, and we have a lot of cool things planned and a lot of big announcements coming up in the future very soon. Roddy was paid to stream once,
just
and
once.
Then we're going to pay
exactly.
Roddy again in the future for something else, and we'll pay him a little more this time, thankfully. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of rambling all over the place.
Just so as long as you know, that was a one-time thing. The rest was voluntarily by me.
That's right.
You actually got me hooked. And I say this to everyone. I really don't think that I would have played it if it wasn't for you. Like, normally I look at that. I feel like it's cute, but, it's because you reached out to me. I started playing it. And then once you play it, I actually find it kind of fun. But anyway, have you ever played Direct Strike, Ben, in StarCraft 2?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what it is, right? To some degree.
Yeah, and then Desert Strike is another StarCraft UMS.
Oh, maybe
that
that's
I think
the one
is
I mean.
A lot of
Direct Strike, Desert
similar
Strike.
mechanics. Yeah, I mean it's basically a really well built out, like plussed up version of that. It's like in my opinion, it's the best, like most tactically rich, strategically deep, auto battlers in the world. I think it's like way cooler than like TFT or Underlords or any of those games. And I just have a lot of hope. I think the developer's super talented, and I can't wait to sort of see what happens. Luna Bear is here. Oh, no, she's gone. Never mind. I was going to try to show you the dog, but she's bouncing. What are you doing, Bear? Hang on. We'll show you the dog, and you can see my messy living room. It's the dog.
This looks very cute. Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah, Mechabellum's awesome. It's a great project. I'm loving it. I really appreciate the help that you've given me on it. And frankly, the StarCraft community has always been good to me. And, we've got a few other StarCraft guys that have been streaming it some. So I've got high hopes. I don't know if we're going to grow to like 1 million players this year, but if we did, that sure would be something.
Yeah, so Day 9 streaming it as well over the last few days, and obviously had Grubby streaming it in the past. So I think that's all very cool, and we can definitely talk more about it later. Feel free to talk about it a little bit as soon as your games are over. Normally we start at 6, but a couple minutes later is fine. I'm sure some people are wondering. So as a man who was so involved in StarCraft, because you started off a long time ago, your YouTube show, 7 weeks with the pro, then you got invited to move to Germany to hang out with some Dutch guy and cast some games, and probably at first thought, what the hell did I sign up for? And then in the end, it all worked out.
But that first hangout in Poland where we were just like talking and we both realized we were both kind of degens, that was like, yeah, I knew I was in for a special experience.
That was a great event. I still think back of that event. For the people who are wondering, we're talking about the European BattleNet finals in Poland. It was in a cinema in Warsaw. I think, who won it? Was it Torten? Red won it. Yeah, of course. Red won it.
Yes.
And we had Tors in there. Naniwa was there. Whitera was there. Tarson, the Polish Terran was there. Yeah, the good old days. Obviously, after that, Ben, you did many other events with me. You had fun. Then you were very active for StarCraft behind the scenes with the Red Bull Battlegrounds. But eventually, obviously, life goes its way. You get different jobs. You had a lady, you moved for the lady. So obviously you don't keep up that much with StarCraft. But we always say that if you once love StarCraft, you always love StarCraft. How much did you keep up over the last few years?
So, StarCraft's a game I always sort of come back to. And the last time I really sat down and played a lot of StarCraft was during this MrBeast adventure, because I went and played Stormgate when it was, very early. And I played. I'm not trying to throw any shade anywhere, but when I played Stormgate in early access or pre-early access, I was like, man, this just doesn't feel right. And I kind of like walked away being like, do I just not like RTS anymore? Is that what's going on here? Have I just kind of like grown out of it? And so that night I installed StarCraft and played StarCraft, and I was like, this feels so fucking good. And, I grinded StarCraft for like a good month there, got back up to Diamonds, never made it back to Masters. I'm so bad. It's really sad, but what can you do? Life goes on, like you said. Since the Beast Project, the first time I played StarCraft again was like yesterday, as I was kind of getting ready for this, just like, all right, let's see how bad it is. I think I got a shot. I think probably the first game I'm going to get smacked. But I think by game 2, it's going to be easy peasy, and this squid is going to get roasted.
I love it. And outside of you playing, obviously, because you don't always have a setup to play, and you don't always have time to play. Do you still enjoy watching it from time to time? If you see like a big event is on, any of the guys that if you look at them in this day and age, and you're like, holy hell, like this is nuts. Because I remember hanging out with you a tiny bit at DreamHack Masters Atlanta, the last one that we had, and I remember you looking at a couple of the games. You looked at me, you're like, what the fuck? People are so good. Like,
and you're like, yeah, and your reaction was like, this is just like how it is now. It's like this isn't that impressive. Yeah, you know, like I'll pop in on a rowdy stream here or there. I'll check out a big event here or there. Most notably, I guess, is like, you know, whenever I see like scrolling through YouTube and I see a Cyril game that's got like 500,000 views, I'm like, oh, this must be good. And so I'll check that out. Cyril's obviously, I mean, I'm a Zerg player, so, you know, and he's obviously like the greatest of all time. So, you know, I watch a little bit, but I'm so far out of the meta and just like, I don't know what's up in my hands. Like the macro stuff, I can still do. Like I can make my overlords and I can build my drones and I can expand and I can do a little bit of scouting. But man, controlling the army is just brutal. And so I don't know. This is what's likely to happen is like I'll kind of like be solid in a decent position, and then I'll just like command my army into a whole bunch of Protoss death ball, and it'll just be over, and I'll be like sad. So maybe not.
I love it. Is there anything else you would like to share, Ben, before we get ready for your best of 5? You get $60 if you win, 15 if you lose. I know that you're just doing it because you want to say hi to me, to the community, and talk a little bit about Mechabellum, but still something on the line, and maybe you can do something fun with it. We can go double or nothing in Mechabellum. I know you got a couple hundred MMR.
I agree. I'm gonna take that 60 buckies and I'm gonna just like pay it forward. It's gonna be good.
I think I have one or two guys in the Discord that would love to challenge you in Mechabellum. I've got like 1 or 2 guys that are actually quite good.
I'm okay. Yeah, I got to inside the top 100 for like a day, and then I don't know, man. The game is really hard, and I think it's also got like quite some variance. You know, like it's definitely a skill game. Poker is definitely a skill game, but sometimes you just get screwed by the cards.
That happened to you a lot, huh?
Yeah, it happened to me a lot. I went from like almost 2K.
I'm talking about poker, Ben.
Oh, poker! I suck at poker, bro. But it's because I like action. You know what I mean? I just want to like do stuff. I want to push chips in, and I want to show cards. And I can't sit there and grind like Todd and just like fucking fold everything except ace king or better.
Which he's currently doing in Vegas, by the way. He's there again for 5 weeks. Our man Johan.
Johan Merlo, my favorite.
All right, no.
Greatest ego.
But yeah, it would be very fun. Maybe we can set up a fun show match between you and perhaps the best player that I currently have in the Mechabellum channel. I think Camo is a guy I play Deadlock with as well. He's pretty damn legit. I think he can probably take you down, or at least you guys should have a very fun series. So let's say if you win today, you can maybe do a fun little show match with him.
I would love that. Yeah, man. Yeah, Mechabellum is the only game I've ever played where like a 2K rated player can lose to like a 1500 rated player. Like it doesn't make sense to me, right? Like when there's that much of a difference in your rating, like how do you ever lose? Like in Starcraft, that would never happen. Yeah, I guess the odd cheese here or there, but like it shouldn't, right?
Protoss is pretty good these days, Ben. So be careful.
Oh no, that's very intimidating.
There's a lot of Protoss upsets around the corner at the moment.
Oh no, maybe HolySquid's in for one.
No,
it would definitely be an upset. I'm easily the favorite.
Okay, matey. Any final words before I see you on Battle.net and you're gonna have fun with the other American HolySquid?
No final words. Good luck. Have fun. Thanks for having me. Much love to you, Kev. I'm in the Roddy stream chat on Battle.net, I think. So, hi, Roddy stream chat.
I'll see
Hopefully
you there.
that is hopefully that's good. But yeah, man, I'm excited to play. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Good luck, Benny.
Thanks, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he was talking about the baby guys. Ben also recently became a dad, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, so it's all still very new and fresh to him, but he's obviously very excited over that. He's got a puppy, he's got a kid, and now he's the community manager of Mechabellum, so still found his way back to esports after he was actually working for his dad's company a little while in near Atlanta, Gainesville, Georgia. So he was all out, and now he's kind of going back in and hanging out with us. How cool is that? Let's go ahead and see if I can find the guys on Battle.net. Yeah, exactly, right? Kid, puppy, waifu, and back in esports. I mean, Ben is just happy. And that makes me very happy. Go ahead and see if I can find our gamers. Hi guys. I don't know if Indy is here. I can send him a little message. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do the hosting, which is not bad. Near Gainesville, not quite. I think his dad lived in Gainesville. That's where we celebrated Christmas one year. And his mom lived in a town called Social Circle. It's very tiny, but it was awesome. And then I don't know where the company is, but somewhere in there. Okay, guys. We can maybe just do some of the new ones. I don't think that Ben cares much. Okay, since Indy is not here, guys, I think I'll just start hosting things up. Shall we start up on... No, I need to check my own map. Oh, can be that thing. Alright, Indy is not going to be here, so it's going to be all me, guys. I mean, that's okay. Let me take a look. Which maps did I select for the map pool? We have Arrowholm, Talisman, Moonwater. Okay. Sure. Let's start off with Talisman then, guys. Let's just do it like that. Talisman it is. Patches. Patches happy. I'm happy. MrBitter happy. Who hosts with WCS Game Art? MrBitter is talking about Terminus RE. That's the only map that MrBitter ever beat me on. Obviously, we were roommates, we were colleagues, we were friends, but we were both gamers as well. And we ran a couple times into each other, either custom games or ladder. And I won most of them, but on Terminus, he got me once, and he was so proud of it. He never forgot the details. I had to hear about his Brood Lords many years later. Alright, I'm ready. HolySquid is ready. I have no idea what to expect, guys. I don't know if this was good matchmaking or the worst matchmaking ever. Because Ben basically played 7 games. He let me wait for a while. He said he was confident. Oh, I have to edit my overlay. He said he was confident all the way up to 4K. And that's when it was going to get hard. Don't know if I can believe it, but let's see. I'm going to hide the chat. I'm going to hide the alerts. I'm going to give this one and disable this one. MMR HolySquid is around 4,000. Like 3,900, 4,000, give or take. It's incredibly hard for me to know if this is going to be fun, close. I asked MrBitter. He said, I'm just going to hit him with some 2-base Hydra. That's when I start getting really worried. We'll figure it out, guys. Big Brain Bouts number 87 and a special evening for me. Let's do it.
Let's get it on. Round 1. Fight.
Top right side, the main base of an American Protoss player. When I told him his opponent, he said, who? That's blasphemy for some very old school Starcraft fans, but he had never heard of any MrBitter. This is HolySquid. One performance on the Friday night Big Brain Bouts and a 3-0 victory back then over Tassat. In the bottom left side of Talisman, we are looking at the main base. Yeah, that's him, the one, the only, the NASL caster, the man behind the Red Bull Battlegrounds, and now the community manager of Macabellum, my old colleague and still very good friend, MrBitter. Or as my mom calls him, American Ben. Whenever I talk about Ben, my mom never knows if it's Demu or MrBitter. And she doesn't know nicknames. So there is English Ben and there is American Ben. And MrBitter will always be American Ben. We have a pylon block. So we went pool first. Still a little pylon block on the side of HolySquid. I'm a tiny bit concerned, you know, that this could be... Like, I'm not worried that MrBitter is going to win incredibly convincingly. That's not what I'm worried about. If you haven't played in so long, even if once upon a time you were, let's say, 5.5k MMR for that time and day, I don't even think we had MMR back then, but he was very close to Grandmaster League, very, very low GM. But if you haven't played in so long and people got so much better, I'm not worried about MrBitter completely smashing HolySquid here. I'm a tiny bit worried about HolySquid completely smashing MrBitter, but I hope that is not the case. What the hell is this? The pylon! What is this? HolySquid! HolySquid is nervous, knowing that he's going up against the legend. Chrono boosted his gateway trying to build a Zealot, but he was supply blocked. Oh, yeah. He's nervous. MrBitter forgot how to attack move. What is happening? Ben, it's not Macabellum. You actually need to click on stuff here. He said ready for this round, but he forgot how to battle. Okay, oh my, what is this? 2 minutes 40-second roach warn of 19 drones. Ben, what are we cooking? Guys, he said he was confident all the way up to 4K MMR. He said, I'm not worried about anything below. He's like, I got this. Maybe I need a warm-up game. This is looking a little bit rough on the economy. Now, HolySquid obviously made a little mistake there as well. Ben did say that he was going to get some spore crawlers because he knows that oracles are popular. I don't know when we're going to build those spores. I hope not of 21 drones, but... Slight oversaturation in the main as well. Oh no. Oh no, Ben. Cheeky 6 worker deficit, 32 out of 58 supply. We're sitting on a little bit of money. But HolySquid might be a bit concerned. I don't know what goes on in the mind of HolySquid. I know he's very passionate. I know he's excited. But I have no idea if he scouts certain things, what he reads. That's impossible for me to know. Maybe in his mind, this is always going to be some sort of a very crazy all-in. And that's why he's going to be very defensive. This is the awesome macro part here. That part he had on lockdown. He hasn't made a drone in forever. Why are we sitting on 700 minerals? Oh my goodness. Ben, make some. He's making roaches. Okay. We're gonna just build 7 roaches. It's gonna be a roachling all in, I guess then. But we're also getting a spore crawler. I don't actually know what Ben is planning. Okay, so a long time ago, guys, if you guys are ever bored, you can find something that's called 7 Weeks with the Pros. That is how MrBitter sort of got known or famous in the Starcraft 2 scene a long time ago. And there was a Zerg player on Team Liquid called Sheth, American Zerg. And MrBitter was the biggest fan of Sheth, and he would always just make a couple roaches and rally them to the other side of the map. And he's like, just a little bit of pressure and then we macro. I mean, that's the logic that we used back then. Casual 7 roaches of 20 drones and then you just macro and you're gonna be fine. That's obviously not really how things work in Legacy of the Void in the year 2025. Oh, it's okay. The macro machine is going, guys. The macro machine is unleashed. 13 drones at once. Lair on the way. There are 2 Void Rays that could potentially kind of cook us here, but he only has 3 queens. Ben is stuck in 2010. He only makes 1 queen per hatchery. Oh no. Might have to whisper him a little bit after the first game, guys. And I don't think we can save a whole lot here, but the Wings of Liberty skills are a little rusty. HolySquid is also doing a little bit of everything, but what he has been doing correctly, as he does lose the Observer, that's a little bit unfortunate. But what HolySquid is doing correctly is that A, he's safe, because he's got 2 Void Rays. So with 2 Void Rays, you're obviously going to be safe for a little while. And B, he's building workers. He has been building probes non-stop. He is obviously working with a 15 worker lead. Now, MrBitter's got 11 additional drones on the way. That is not too bad for Ben. Mr. Nichols. NESL was in 2012, so it was March 2012, I remember that very well, where we left ESL right after the World Championship in CBIT, Hanover back then. Before we went to Katowice, we always had the IEM World Championships in Hanover, and after the finals, that's when our contract ended with ESL, and that's when we both moved to Rancho Cucamonga. So it was from 2012 all the way until somewhere late 2013. Yeah. Then fun story. I was obviously an employee, like full-time employee. I was a streamer already a little bit, just because I wanted to have a backup plan. But I was just a full-time employee of NESL, and I went to Germany to cast the Home Story Cup, and a couple of the Blizzard representatives were there as well. And they're like, Kevin, do you have a second? And I was like, yeah, of course. And I was just having a good time vibing with my friends over in Krefeld. And they're like, so I don't think you know this yet, but NESL has just gone bankrupt, which means you're unemployed. I was like, oh, well, that's not the news that I was expecting during a little home story cup where I was having a couple beers with my friend, but I was like, all right. But then they said, no worries, we will still continue to make StarCraft happen in North America, and we absolutely plan on using you and whoever you want to cast with, so no need to panic, but we just thought we had to share this news with you. And I was like, well, I appreciate it. It's a little tough right now to travel back to America knowing that I've got no job anymore, but it all worked out in the end. And that's obviously when I started casting with Nathanius a bit later, and we did a lot of the ESL America studio events, the WCS days. MrBitter is starting to build a couple Hydras. He's got Hydras. He's probably looking at these Hydra upgrades, and he might be a tiny bit confused. Also dropping a Baneling Nest 9 minutes in. Unfortunately, he's going to have to walk into a lot of Colossus. And Colossus are very, very, very good. This is not going to end well for Ben. Oh my, oh no. Oh no, make it stop, guys. Alright, MrBitter runs a bunch of Zerglings into a Protoss army and immediately fires up 14 drones again, but Hydras are melting. HolySquid could probably legitimately just end this game right here. He's showing a lot of respect to the legend that is Ben. I don't know if this respect is what needs to be found here. Couple roaches on the way. Do we have roach speed? We don't. So we're gonna make a whole bunch of slow roaches. Where did it all go wrong for MrBitter here in game 1? Well, it's mostly the start. Like, the pull first is not that bad. Taking your third elsewhere is not that bad. Making 7 roaches when every Protoss opens up with a Stargate and then just casually droning up, that's pretty rough. And then making a few more, also getting Zergling speed. It's a lot of things, guys, that you obviously just can't really get away with. Unless HolySquid just gives him more and more and more time. Yeah, he might just feel that this has gone a little bit too good. But MrBitter is going to do him a favor. He's going to walk into this Protoss army. He's like roaches and hydras, like Nurture in his glory days. Might get a Colossus here, to be fair. He might get a Colossus. He gets one. I'm afraid for Ben, that's about it. His army melts. The lasers did Ben dirty in 2010. And they're still doing him dirty in 2025. I'll see if I can help Ben a little bit after game 1. I did offer some help, and he's like, don't worry, I got this. I played a couple games. It's been going well. I've been crushing. I was like, well, I don't know who's been crushing, guys, but it was not HolySquid on the ladder. Based on the performance here in game 1, I do not think that MrBitter crushed anyone around 4,000 MMR. GG, oh no. GG gets called. HolySquid takes a pretty convincing 1-0 lead. I'll see if I can give Ben a couple of words of wisdom. Obviously, there's not a whole lot I can do, but he doesn't accept whispers. Ben, your settings, no. Your settings don't allow me to whisper you. Yeah, that was pretty convincing for HolySquid. Probably a little easier than he expected it to be as well. The Wings of Liberty Grandmaster Leagues guys are letting me down a little. But it's okay. I still believe in Ben. We can clean this up. Create with mods. I don't know if he's checking Battle.net chat at all. Yeah, HolySquid is definitely not the same as Holy. I would never make MrBitter play against somebody who's still got Grandmaster League in the year 2024, 2023. Like, I know that that would never be a match, but I kind of thought someone who was once upon a time pretty damn good in Wings of Liberty, you know, around 4,000 MMR, maybe that was doable. I know he's here, but okay. I tried to whisper you. Alright. Wasn't it 12 weeks with the pro instead of 7? That sounds right, JBS. I think it was 12 weeks, season 1, and then I think he did a season 2 that was 7 weeks. But yeah, 12 weeks with the pro sounds indeed what it was. A long, long time ago. Alright, HolySquid is ready. MrBitter is ready. They both say go, go. HolySquid says, I love you both. Love you too, mate. He's probably like, man, Roddy is giving me some presents over here. This was impossible for me to matchmake, since MrBitter didn't really give me a whole lot to work with. He said he was down to play, and he said he would get a couple games in. He said the hands felt good, And then I think he said he won every single placement match, and it was easy. And up to his standards, he said, I don't think I'll struggle up to 4,000 MMR. I was like, well, then we'll go like right below 4K, because I did think he would struggle. Yeah, he definitely struggled. Seemed like they picked the wrong race. Erreholm. We're gonna go with one of the Neo maps once more. He almost beat Cyril in TVZ. That'd be big, mate. Juanita will be playing later tonight as well. Can you believe it, by the way, Juanita, that MrBitter is playing some Starcraft over here. Game 1 was a little bit rough, but I have faith in Ben. I think Game 2 we can clean things up. I gave him some magical Zerg words. I don't see what could possibly go wrong. Alright, they picked the right races. Game 2, Erreholm. Where's HolySquid is East Coast as well, right? So they're both East Coast. No ping advantage, guys. Nothing that we can work with. This is just what it is. Thank you to Sir Borat for the 13 months with Prime. Marty Nader with the good old NESO emotes. I still have those as well, mate. Love, Sarah. Amazing content day after day. Thank you so much for the 6 months. And Coles for the win with Prime. I assume that we're talking about the Indianapolis Colts. Here we go.
Round 2, fight!
Top right side, the always energetic, always passionate and excited American Protoss player around 4,000 MMR, HolySquid. Now 4-0 by the way in maps on the Big Brain Bouts. He took down the manager of the Platinum Heroes, Tassad 3-0 a little while ago. And now he's taking the 1-0 lead over this man. If you were watching Starcraft in 2010, 2011, 2012, 13 or 14, you're absolutely familiar with him. If you joined a bit later, you're probably wondering who the hell is MrBitter. The same way that HolySquid was. This is American Ben. We're in New York. MrBitter says lol on the Lower East Side. Yeah, Ben touched upon this very briefly when he answered a couple of the questions, but when Overwatch League was a thing, because I think it's no longer a thing, right? There was a team called the New York Excelsior. And after Ben was done working at Red Bull, well, he wasn't done. He was actually still there, and they were happy with him. And he was obviously happy with Red Bull. But I think his girlfriend back then had a job opportunity on the East Coast. And because of that, he's like, you know what? Then I'll find something too. And he was, I think, similar to what Hawk did for the team from New England, Boston back then. That's what MrBitter did for the New York Excelsior for quite some time. Eventually, he left. I think he had a pretty good time there. He always seemed very enthusiastic and happy. I don't think he's necessarily an Overwatch fan, but he was excited for the business opportunity. Hello, Slowly. Hello, Walter, as well, with the 31 months. Thank you. MrBitter has gone 3 hatches, guys. Economically, this already looks a little bit better. We have taken an extractor. We are going to saturate our gas. He's probably just going to mine 100 minerals, but this is starting to look like something. I don't know why we're drone scouting. I mean, that is most certainly a play. It almost looked like the real build. Until we have just a casual drone in the main base of HolySquid 2.5 minutes in. Don't get too creative, man. Don't tell me you're gonna build a hatchery in his main. You are not ready for this. Please. We are barely able to saturate it. What? Alright, 2 minutes, 40 seconds in. The man fires up a lair. Last game we made a roach one and 7 roaches of 21 drones. Now we just fire up a lair with our first 100 gas. Making a few more drones. HolySquid is opening up in a very safe way. It's definitely something you can take advantage of. I don't know if this is taking advantage of it, but it could be. You need a laugh for Nidus. Definitely something that he did back then. He was a very big fan of Nidus attacks. You guys don't even want to know how many tournaments I've casted and with Ben together. And I had a couple things that I would always go back to, because in Wings of Liberty there really wasn't that much to talk about. The options were somewhat limited. So you would definitely sound like a broken record rather quickly if you would cast StarCraft multiple times a week, if not every day. And almost every day that I ever did with Ben, he would talk about those Nidus worms. He's like, I always think it's good to just throw in a Nidus. Like a little Nidus in a best of 3, best of 5. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it's worth a shot. Instead, we're going for a 4-minute Spire. Honestly, very, very quick Mudas. Against the man who opens up a double Void Ray, it's not even that bad. He's not going to rush Hydras. We're going to rush Mudas. So we have 4 gases up and running now. Where you have a lot of lava that we are not using. We're not. He is building queens, to be fair. I told him to build some queens and drones. He got the queen part. A cheeky spy and a cheeky spore. If there was anyone who enjoyed Starcraft in 2010, you would put them to sleep for 15 years and they'd wake up. This is how they would play in 2025. This is like a little bit of everything. A little spore, a little spine, a little spire. Let's see what we can do. What's the worst that could happen? It's gonna have gas for days. Cats would be very proud of this, by the way. 38 drones straight into Mudas. Queen's getting some shots up. I mean, HolySquid has no idea what's happening. So that's the bad part for HolySquid. And he's making it, like, in a weird way, this could work. This build order hurts every single financial part that I have in my body. This is the worst macro. It's proper self-sabotage. It's like selling all your stocks right when there is a little dip. Don't do it. But it might work. It's all so uneconomic. But it might just work. Sure, we are supply block, but he's gonna fix that. Okay, a second target, he knows? How does HolySquid know? Actually, a little bit. I guess we... No. I actually don't know why he's building a second target. Maybe that's just his plan. I don't think he necessarily knows about the Mutalisk. He's also not using it. Yeah, he just wants to go Carriers, right? He just wants to go Carriers or Tempest. Well, we're just going to go ahead and follow the vision of HolySquid for a little bit here. The man has a Robo, a Stargate, building a second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon. He's got 2 Stargates now. He has not built a single Phoenix yet. HolySquid is ahead economically. How good is the American Protoss in keeping his workers alive? If he just starts building Phoenix, obviously he's kind of cooking. No, this is nowhere near a Phoenix Zealot, mate. But it's okay. This is the closest thing that I can think of is Cats used to do very weird, very quick Spire openings of a very bad economy just to force people to multitask and get some workers. HolySquid looks as his main, warps in 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers not enough. That's a lot of Mudas. MrBitter has shown up with 14 Mutalisk in the main base of HolySquid. And if he just unpowers the pylons, I think he wins. He's definitely going to win the fight against the Stalkers. HolySquid is floating. MrBitter is floating. The Mudas are flying. Phoenixes, how good will the Phoenix micro be? MrBitter, the legend, in the year 2025. He might do it. He might get a map here. Kills the Void, kills 2 more Stalkers. If he can get either on top of the probes or just kill that Phoenix, how are we going to micro against the Phoenix? Probably not, right? We're probably not going to micro at all. But HolySquid definitely falling apart a little bit. He's got no army. He's now microing the 2 Phoenixes like his life depends on it. Because his life depends on it, but he loses one of them. It's GG. MrBitter with the 2-minute and 40-second lair tech straight into Mudas. 32 drones, 4 gases up and running. Gets a win. Oh my. Oh my. MrBitter. He's flying. He's cooking. He's very happy. Alright, let's just go with another one of the new maps. The last one is Moonwater, right? Yeah, Moonwater. I think it's the 3rd of the new maps that I put in. We're all tied up. After that first game, I did not think that there was a day or that there was a chance in hell that MrBitter was going to win a map in this series. He did say in the interview, you know, give me... The first game is going to be rough, but after that he'd be cooking. I don't think he's going to be cooking yet in this series, but he got a win. And that makes me pretty happy. So we're on the board. Most certainly on the board. HolySquid's probably wondering what the hell was that. That's a lot of Mudas very quick. Who the hell goes Muda versus a Stargate opener while not having any other unit. It is a play. HolySquid saying that was a game. Oh my goodness, MrBitter is going in his analysis mode as well, saying it's queens to keep the void ray away. You know, they can also make an oracle and drop a revelation. You know, that's not that solid. Even the analysis was rough of the casters in 2010, eh, guys? Oh. Alright. HolySquid ready. MrBitter ready. Couple queens, guys. Scouting, impossible. There's no way to ever discover that there is literally no units but 4 casters and a spire, but... Yeah, 4,000 MMR for HolySquid. I do not think that MrBitter would currently be 4K. And there's a couple things that he obviously does well. At one point he was actually building a lot of workers. And he was definitely extreme last game. And I think playing in an extreme way is also good. Like we always talk about how it's important to be decisive. His macro right now is not 4K. We can say that much. But it's all about having fun over here. First series of the night is to have fun. Sometimes we do some community members from this day and age. Sometimes we do people from the past. And I thought it was awesome to see MrBitter play some games. Matchmaking, I knew was going to be rough. I think maybe I overestimated him a tiny bit. But hey, we're all tied up. Perhaps it will still be a banger of a series.
Round 3. Fight.
Top right side, the old NESL caster and ESL caster, MrBitter from Atlanta. Currently the community manager for the turn-based strategy game Macabellum. That you guys may have seen Pig play, or Grubby play, or Day9 play, or me play recently. Top left side of Moonwater, you're looking at the main base of the American Protoss, saying that was most certainly a game. It's HolySquid. I know that HolySquid has a lot of friends in the community as well, and I don't think any of them are worried about his chances of winning this series. And I think with a couple words of wisdom, he should absolutely be able to get the job done here. RotterdaM is also streaming a lot, by the way, Mork. RotterdaM is still active on Twitch. He is doing a lot of casting for Teamfight Tactics. I think he plays at a pretty damn high level too, so... Little bit of what I do for Starcraft, but then for Teamfight Tactics. In the past, obviously, did Hearthstone. Greatorp is not, or Greatorp, however you want to pronounce it, is not too involved in esports, but he's always around. He's currently spending some time with Todd over in Vegas. He's been living there for a while. He has been a video editor behind the scenes for a couple big poker guys that make content, run shows, that kind of stuff. And once in a while, dabbles a little bit in esports. I did get to meet him the last time I was in Las Vegas, which was after the Battle Aces event. So we got invited to go to LA for the Battle Aces event, and from there on I went to Las Vegas for a couple days, hang out with Todd, and then I had a dinner with Greatorp as well, which was really cool. And Vibe was there too. It's always nice to see these guys that you don't get to see very often anymore. What is the plan here for my friend MrBitter? Not one but 2 overlords on the other side of the map at Twilight Council. I was actually thinking, if I'm HolySquid and I take a look at how MrBitter played in the last 2 games, I would not be afraid to open up with a Twilight. Maybe the 7 Roach move out could become a tiny bit tricky, right, if you play Twilight. But making a couple of adepts with glaives, I don't think MrBitter is going to be able to deal with it. Loses the first overlord without really seeing anything. That's painful. Good news for MrBitter is that he does have Zergling speed. The bad news is that I think he's going to get absolutely obliterated by Resonating Glaive Adept. Making a few more draw. Economically, like out of the 3 games, I would say this is maybe the best. And it's not very clean, of course, but it's the best of the 3 games I've seen. Unfortunately, I am afraid that he's not going to have anything other than a couple queens and lings. And he can fight 3 adepts, 4 adepts, 5 adepts. He's not going to be able to deal with 12 or 14 adepts with glaive. This is going to hit hard. He is making links. Imagine if there is a world where he somehow deals with this. An early Baneling Nest would be good. He does have double gas. A Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest. That is what MrBitter needs here. The problem is that he's got no idea that he needs it. He has scouted a little bit. He didn't see a Void Ray this time. He didn't see a Stargate. Hasn't seen a Robo either. So perhaps the alarm bells go off a tiny bit. I just don't think he's thinking about this stuff at all. Ça va. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Okay, guys. The Adept count currently only 4. The doors are open. Lings are going to get in. And that at least is going to give MrBitter some time. These two Adepts, though, do have potential to do a lot of damage. MrBitter spots a bunch of gateways and a couple of Adepts. And he's like, you know what? I need 7 more drones. The Lynx doing that thing. Actually getting us around. Do we have a pickup on the side of HolySquid? No pickup. How are these Adepts? Oh, these Adepts are cooking. The Queens have been sleeping a little bit. It's a good run by. It is a good run by. And he's making more drones. But he needs units, guys. He needs units. Oh my god, we have 35 drones in the main. Why do we have 35 drones in the main? I know that he just transferred a bunch of workers from the natural to the main, but that's just so many. Oh no. Okay, he's gonna build. We need a miracle. We need to snipe the prism. But he hasn't seen the prism. I'm afraid for MrBitter, guys, that these Adepts are going to be a little too much to deal with. Maybe he can battle with drones, queens, links all together. This is an interesting way of defending things. Queens are definitely doing their thing, but there is a lot of workers falling already. Is there a world where he can eventually clean this up? That is 27 workers going down. Everywhere we look, drones are getting slaughtered. This Adept in the 3rd base has 7 kills. And these obviously have a crazy amount of kills. Oh, the War Prism is still here. MrBitter hasn't seen it. He's got 4 army supply, guys. He's making 6 more drones. Oh dear. The best defense sometimes is to drone up, but yeah, this is that is most certainly an ambitious fire. After losing 45 drones to a couple of Adepts, he's like, you know what? The Mutalisks were pretty good in game 2. Honestly, they were pretty good. Why not give it another shot? HolySquid has now also warped in a Stalker to go with his Adept, and that will do it. After 6 minutes and 30 seconds, it is HolySquid who takes the 2-1 lead. That was painful to watch. That was painful. The run by was good, but then we just made drones. And we didn't see the prism, and we made more drones. Alright, what map shall we do? The both players do not care about the maps. We have done the 3 neo maps. But maybe El Dorado, guys? I feel like El Dorado. Is that the one that we go for? I think that's what we go for. Game 4. Alright, the guys are having some fun. HolySquid said, adapt good unit. MrBitter said, that game reminded me of the first time I played Roddy on Metalopolis. He just made Stalkers. He walked into my natural and won. That said a lot more about me than Ben. You can do it, Ben. Just know, Queens and drones against Stargates. If you see a Twilight Council, make a couple battle units. Go. Alright. The game is already. HolySquid is up 2-1. 1 map away from winning 60 buckies. He's going to obviously have an excellent start to his weekend over in New York. MrBitter is obviously just here for a good time. But even for the 15 bucks, I'm sure he's willing to put those on the line against perhaps Camo or anybody who wants to challenge him in Mechabellum. He is quite good. Never thought I would say that about Ben in a video game, but gotta give it to Ben. He's pretty high ranked in Mechabellum. I'm just gonna assume that's because he's got a lot of hours into it. Game 4. And of course, guys, after this, we're gonna get into usual, regular, high-level StarCraft. With a PvT between Hydra and Special, which I think is a fun one. It's very, very tough to predict.
Round 4. Fight!
Bottom right side. It's been a bit of everything so far. The Mutas did him well. Everything else has been a little bit rough. Hailing from Atlanta, it is our American Zerg, MrBitter. It is a best of 5. Bottom left side of El Dorado, still the favorite, overwhelming favorite, but I can also see it go wrong. There's a couple things that perhaps MrBitter is better at. Not all of them, but a few probably better, and maybe MrBitter can capitalize on it, but this man is up. 2-1. It is our American Protoss, HolySquid. Most recent patch, yeah, Ben. Actually, is 275. Oh! A man of extremes. Double hedge before. Ooh, I love it. Honestly, I'm a fan. I think this is a really good idea. Because I think on this map, HolySquid will probably go back into the Stargate. Now, I don't know if we ever need to make an Overlord with this build. Or we're just going to make a 14 spawning pool. Hatch, pool. MrBitter, Max. He made a 2-minute 40-second lair. He had 38 drones. And he put 12 of them on gases. And then it just showed up with 14 MrBitter against a man with a Void Ray and 4 Stalkers and 2 Adepts. Now, I think if you let him truly stabilize on like 3-4 bases, and all the Overlords and all the gas up and running, I think he kind of knows what to do. I think he can spend his money. I'm very concerned about the first 5 or 6 minutes here for MrBitter, but like what we are hoping for as obviously fans of good old Ben is that HolySquid plays Stargate. Because I think against Stargate, if MrBitter just makes a bunch of queens and a spore crawler per base, he should be fine. If it's Twilight Council, I am incredibly concerned. I think he spread a creep tumor or 2 so far. But yeah, obviously that's something that we were already doing way back then. And MrBitter used to always rave about Red, the Dutch Zerg, back in the days on how Red was so smart because he would make 1 extra queen. And if you have more than just 1 queen per hatchery, you can use that queen to spread creep. Mind blown. Revolutionary stuff for the Zergies back then. It is a Stargate, guys. If we just get queens and drones, MrBitter is going to be legit in a good spot. Overlord. Oh, check it. I don't think he doesn't know yet. Check it, please. Click on it. I think he's seen it now, right? I mean, obviously he's seen it, but I hope he actually saw it. I hope we know what is up. Overlord in the center of the map is going to reveal that this probe has taken control of the Zelnaga watchtower. At this level, losing a single Overlord here and there is no big deal. As long as we're building queens and drones, I'm happy. Okay, losing the second one here is a tiny bit annoying, but... Oh, it's very nice actually by HolySquid that he's got vision because of the Zelnaga watchtower. Void Ray on the way. MrBitter has not mined any gas yet. You thought it was high ground? It is high ground. But there is a probe that you saw at the Zelnaga watchtower. I mean, that is a play. Why not make a little spine? Why not make another spine? I love how MrBitter with so much confidence can tell me that he will not struggle up to 4K. We are so safe now. HolySquid is going to go for a very quick Stargate this time and a fleet beacon. So what MrBitter is going to have to do here is just get a crazy good economy and then just spam Corruptus. Like, this is not a high level game, so you don't need high level tactics. What I'd love to see him do is just nothing but drones all the way up to 70. Drones, queens, saturate everything, drop a spire, and just spam like upgraded Lings and Corruptus. And then he's got a shot. He's spreading creep, by the way. You guys thought he didn't know, but he knows. We are going to lose another Overlord. 2 queens, though, attacking the Void Ray. Oh, 16 drones. Macro machine alert. 6 minutes into El Dorado. MrBitter is going to hit us with 16 drones at once, and he fires up a lair. So we got a carrier on the way. Inside of HolySquid. If HolySquid attacks with like 2 carriers and a Void Ray, I feel like this game will be over. But hopefully, HolySquid waits. And it's kind of drags this one on and it keeps these carriers at home. And MrBitter will have time to make some units that fire up, other than the queens. Or in a straight line, if we're talking Corruptus. Corruptus, Hydras, I don't know what it's going to be. Twilight Council now gets warped in as well on the side of our American Protoss. MrBitter, guys, is economically ahead. Okay, by the looks of it, he's just going to play Roach Hydra. If we get a crazy amount of Hydras, maybe he can fight the carriers. Economically, it's not been that bad. Even though the gas saturation has been a tiny bit rough, but we're getting somewhere. He's going up to 4 bases. Come on, mate. Hydra then. Or he might even go Roach Corruptor. I would not put it past MrBitter to just play Roach Corruptor. And in a weird way, it wouldn't be that bad here. But he's gonna go Roach Hydra double Evo. It's okay. Roach 1 is done. I do hope that he realizes that there is a speed upgrade for the Roaches he needs to get. You know it, Yujiki. Beautiful, isn't it? All for Ben. Because his one victory that he ever got over me was on Terminus RE with Broodlords. HolySquid going up to 4 bases does not seem to be very afraid by anything that MrBitter can do. I'd say rightfully so. This Void Ray feels like it has won the jackpot today. That is Overlord number 4. It has gone down. 7 minutes in, MrBitter is making 11 roaches. I would be okay with that if it wasn't for the fact that we're going up against carriers, but that's going to be somewhat useful against the Zealots with charge. 20, oh my god. He just made 26 roaches. That's a lot of roaches. Well, definitely spent all of our money. And we're going to fire up +1 missile attacks, +1 carapace and groove spines. And now we're going to build some drones again. Can we stop losing so many overlords to this Void Ray? MrBitter, please. Ben. I mean, one of Ben's favorite games of all time was Mondragon against the Zerg from Bulgaria. And then Mondragon got him with nothing but roaches. And the Bulgarian Protoss had a bunch of Void Rays and Archons. Just pure roach. The people loved it on Team Liquid. They made this template. How the roach counters everything. It was really good play with tunneling claws. I don't think that MrBitter is gonna micro roaches in 3 different bases with tunneling claws like Mondragon in his prime, but he does a 96 army supply. You know, that's a lot of army supply. The carriers are gonna be a little bit scary here. MrBitter sees a Void Ray, a shield battery. That's a lot of carriers. Please don't lose all your roaches for nothing. You can shoot at a gateway here. Please don't click them in the base. I was like, I can't believe it. Building a couple Hydras and dropping a Spire and 11 drones. Just a little bit of everything. Couple roaches, couple Hydras, a Spire. The Mechabellum community manager in a little bit of trouble here. This is my reaction every day, Ben, when I've got 12 marksmen and they make this chef thing. I'm like, what the hell is chef? Why do I need chef? Well, that's what MrBitter is experiencing right now, but then in Starcraft too. I like the roach backstab here, hoping that HolySquid turns around. And if HolySquid does turn around, which he does, it's gonna take a little while before he's on the other side of the map again. Carriers are not the best. You're gonna kill the Cybercore. If he kills the Cybercore, that would be big. Not the gateway! Not the gate. The man's got gateways for days. It's a really good roach counter. It's a really good roach counter. I hope that we are not losing Hydras here. We are losing Hydras against the High Templar auto attack. And the roach is a cookie. It's actually a phenomenal counter. 45 probes have gone down. 15 more Hydras on the way. The safety spine from the early game is going to have a bit of an impact. Do we have Storm? Oh no, we don't. This High Templar is just here to throw water balloons all day, every day. Roach is still running Rampage, this time in the main base. What? What? Oh, Burrow! Oh my god, it's Mondragon! Couple Zealots are slicing up the drones in the top right side. That is a 19-bit unfortunate. Hydras are completely ignoring the Void. That's a lot of Hydras though. Imagine if he had Hydra launch. That would be sick. I don't know if we're launching anytime soon, but kill them Zealots! What are the upgrades on the Hydras? Just 1-1, and that's gonna be tough. Carriers. Chilling. Okay. Chaos! Hydra speed on the way! The final 3 Zealots, after wiping out every single drone on the top right side and not trying to get the head tree, but they won't get it yet. HolySquid is gonna go up to 5 bases though. MrBitter is gonna max out on Hydras. And if HolySquid does not get Storm, I mean, I don't know how we're gonna micro this on the side of MrBitter. I'm obviously very worried about the micro. But pure Hydra could actually do something. Couple Zealots are leading the charge. Zealots go straight into the meat grinder. There is still no Storm on the side of HolySquid. The spore crawlers, that could work. No, hello. Oh my god. No, not yet. You need more. Okay, okay. Fighting near spores, sniping down a couple interceptors. He might intercept 2 carriers. MrBitter, a Hydra god. Okay, now all the Hydras are obviously exposed and we are in a tiny bit of trouble. Sniping those 2 carriers was most certainly a play. He burrows all the Hydras in the center of the map. But there is an observer with the army of HolySquid. That's unfortunate. Imagine a world, guys, where he snipes those 2 carriers, burrows all the Hydras, and he lives. That would have been awesome. Hello, Vicky. Thank you so much for the 51 months. I hope you had a safe journey. I'm afraid, guys, that this is going to be the end. The 3 roach counter is good. But that's kind of like making 1 more arc light when your opponent has 17 scorpions. Did I do that right, man? I think I did. I love this High Templar, by the way. 200 energy, guys. It is ready to throw a balloon here or a balloon there for the 2nd time on the Friday night. HolySquid will get the dub. Because nothing is going to stop these Zealots, Archons, Carriers. A 3-1 victory for the Protoss from New York. And once more, 60 buckies go to HolySquid. Alright. I think MrBitter, guys, maybe overestimated himself a tiny bit. No issues all the way up to 4K. I think there are some issues up to 4K. But it was fun. I had a good time. And as long as HolySquid and MrBitter had a good time, I'm happy. Thank you to Jarkmon for the 93 months with Prime. I appreciate it, mate. Well, that was most certainly a series. Let's settle the prediction and get ready for the next series. Next series is going to be Special from Mexico versus Hydra from the Netherlands. Both of those guys are very good, in case you're not as familiar with them. That's going to be around 6,000 MMR gaming, a bit higher, a bit lower. You guys believed in HolySquid, and he is indeed the one who delivered. The Protoss gets it done, guys. Hydra versus a special best of 5. BBB number 87. It's an 80-20 split for the 2nd series of the night. Do you guys believe in Hydra, the Dutch Protoss, or do you guys believe in Special, our Mexican Terran, starting to play more and more Starcraft 2 again, which makes me incredibly happy. We obviously love Juanito, and I wish him well in poker if that is where his career is going to take him. But I'm also happy that he's playing a bit more Starcraft again, and hopefully we can see the old man peak once more. I think he feels quite confident. No. You feel inked? What do you mean with that, Ben? It was funny, but yeah, I can clearly see that you've been out of it for a long time, and the order of things is a little bit all over the shop. You did a couple things right. Like the circling run-by was good, and the roach counter was technically a good idea. It's just at home, yeah, things were not quite as streamlined as it should be. It was a squid joke. I'm not as familiar with the fish, guys. But I hope you had fun, Ben. And obviously, if you guys want to check out Macabellum and want to make MrBitter happy, I do have a link where you guys can take a look at it. MrBitter loves the game, and it's growing on me. But maybe that's just because he loves it so much. Well, it's contagious. But now I'm having a good time with it. And I've been playing a bit with Kamo, with Vicky, with Pi. It's fun. I just did. Exclamation mark Macabellum gives a link to the game that MrBitter is currently working on, and he's incredibly passionate about. Alright, guys, I'm going to take a tiny break. And then I'm going to try to find my gamers. Hydra is here. Where is Special? Rolling stream at NABnet. Go ahead and do videos. Hydra is there. Oh, he's there? Alright. I'll see you guys real soon, guys. Couple minutes, 2nd series of the night. Coming up, Friday night video gaming. I've been up since 8 a.m. because obviously we did the 2nd day of the Pig Fest as well. We're going to make it a fun night. Maybe a cheeky whiskey because we do have something to celebrate. But more about that soon. TM.